And also, we are like now investigating about the situation of the old age. If you really to learn in this text about the old age situation through your compassions, maybe, for example, and if you are a doctor, you become the perfect doctor. And also it's like if some old age can ask you, I have this problem, that problem, you have this experience, you have knowledge about this, and very easily to help to the others. And therefore, if you really to study, investigate the situation of the old age, is wonderful. Like this, now we are the human, like a kind of, this is not only human beings, but all the sentient beings. The third sufferings is we call the suffering of the sickness. And the sickness, because it's like when we are pain and inner element and digestions is a turmoil, we are uncomfortable, unpleasant, anxieties, that we call the sufferings. And suffering is, of course, when we look at the really the sufferings. And why you call this, give the name, this negative word? And because it's like mind is unhappy. Mind is like crying. If you say it's like, tell to the mind, why mind you are crying? Are you thinking about birth? No. Are you thinking about the old age? No. Then what happens? Mind say, I'm sick. Why do you mean sick? Pain. Like a kind of the mind is, there's the feeling is like unbearable. That I call the pain. You know, it is like when we are sick, that means someone is like really like lose all the energies, no interest, physically or mentally, there's, we call the sickness. And then it's like almost mind, nothing interest. And like kind of the desperated. In this situation we call the sick. And then it's generally, I'm sick, I need medicine. The mind say, mind is telling to us, go to see the doctor. And mind crying. That is we call the sickness. How it is occur, maybe we need to explore now. When the four elements that make up our body become imbalanced, and earth, water, and of course they're very much balanced, and they build our body, blood circulation, and inner like kind of the heat, cold, very much correct balance. Then we are very healthy, mind is very comfortable. But then it's become the unbalanced. Maybe it's like fire is too high, very hot temperature, and also it's very easily anger, and it's like there's such a kind of turmoil. If you are kind of the coldest up water, maybe you're very feeling cold, and it's like kind of everything's a pain, muscles problems, something like this. And then it's unbalanced, same as the earth or wind, any kind of. And all sort of illness, any kind of different type of the illness. And there's, of course, there's three like a source of the illness. Those of the wind, it is like unbalanced. Then it's like, how do you say, it's like blood pressures. And also it's like our bodies become very weak and breathe difficult. And that is like kind of. And the bile, it is like a kind of it's like a hot sickness, maybe problems the liver, gallbladder, pancreas, and then it's digestions. It is like this kind of problems. This wind, normally wind, water is more cold sickness. And then it's the hot and like kind of the fires, more biled, or biled. How do you call the bil or biled? B-I-L, bile, yes. And this is like a kind of the more we can to say is problems your connect to the gallbladder and the heat systems problems. And then it's like the phlegm games. Or phlegm, it's like kind of the liquid. Like kind of when you have phlegm sickness, and maybe it's when you eat food, and then in the stomach there is acid, it's naturally make the smash food, and then there is coming kind of different layers. Most dirty, slowly going to in the intestine. And then is that there's something to the middle food, and then upper there's a very crystal, like a little bit mixed, maybe sometimes red, but there is a water clean. This water is like problems, and this water normally sucking by the liver and sending to the kidneys everywhere. And this liquid, upper liquid, is become the acid. Then we can say the phlegm, and because it's coming up, we have problem in the thyroid, and then it's like kind of for example, diabetic persons, it's become the sugar liquid, very thick, very difficult. Then difficult liver to suck, and then there's many problems, so on, arise. And the sensations of the pain and the suffering afflict us. And if you are kind of each one is like to study, if you are a doctor, maybe you can it's like more to get the knowledge. Maybe you are a perfect doctor, but this kind of books can give you more knowledge. How it is the basic like kind of the element. For example, in the Buddhist perspective, of course, sickness is principally is come from the disturbed emotions. For example, desire attachments, more common sickness of the wind and waters, and hatred, angers to produce the more bile and hot kind of like this. Ignorant, making the sickness of the phlegm. And this kind of inner mind, disturbing emotion. This is the root of the disturbing emotions. There's three, like ignorant, or maybe it's like disattachment, anger, aversions, and this kind of making the unbalanced of the element, and then it's like kind of the occurring the different sickness, and if you can to say it's like already unbalanced, huge unbalanced some person, and the body is like a lot of turmoil. Maybe this person's body is very much kind of the already damaged. Then of course medication to medicine. Maybe it's like someone's not very much sick, but mentally sometimes someone has a lot of desire attachment, someone's very aggressive and all the time hate aggressive. Someone is like also is like kind of the very much ignored. Maybe you can to give advice to say you should taking care of this kind of the disturbing emotions to making the human systems. You control the human systems and the like body systems about the like this, they making the elements problems. Then our body structures, physiologist way to say is like a kind of the making the turmoil. And maybe it's like a person is beginning to sick, and he come to see you good doctor, and to say it's like, okay, maybe your sickness is now is good. Please to maybe if you have very strong ignorant, want sleepy, dullness, maybe a little bit kind of to memorize and to kind of to study, to learn, to make the nice things, maybe drawing, and like a little bit to bring back clarity, and like this, and also it's very much help. And also someone has like very much strong desire like this, and you need give it give kind of the explanation. Maybe some has so much desire, want to drink coffee every day, 20, 30 cup of the coffee they drink. They're doing this kind of the Coca-Cola and the tea, alcohol, drug. Then you need to say it's like, desire attachment is like kind of the salty water. As much as you drink, that much you need it. Then it's making problem your body, and you may be you need limited to do like this. For example, someone is like very much aggressive, very much like a kind of the aversion, strong to have versions, and you came to say it's like you all the time angry. Maybe it can destroy your body. Maybe at the moment your body is very good, but you all the time is acting like this. Maybe one day collapse your body. You should to taking care. Anger, the anger, cause of the anger, result of the anger. The reality is like shape, color of the anger. To a little bit, please, to make the diminution of the anger. And maybe it's a big medicine, nice, and this person. But anyway, when we are like kind of those things is coming to seek the body, we have such a kind of sufferings. And in the Buddhist perspective, really it's like angers, those disturbed emotions, very much to making problems. It's holiness to say is like this morning, everybody is whoever to watch it. He says like, I'm a little bit healthy, and because it's like, of course I have externally in my life is a very much kind of turmoil, we can to say suffering. He's become like a kind of says young, 16 years old or something, he lost something, blah, turmoil. It's a very, very dangerous all the time like this. But inside he says that according to the Buddha's teachings, I'm quite like a quiet peace, and there is like sometimes naturally occurring kind of the smiling, and he says, I'm happy this kind of compassion, the atmosphere. And of course, sometimes I'm trying, but sometimes naturally coming. This morning, he funny to say, when we make a picture, I'm smiling, around whoever with me, everybody smiling. Maybe we are not artificial. We are sincerely or deeply, hardly to smiling. And he says sometimes this may be a result of the Dharma. This is like kind of through the compassion, wonderful. Like this, sometimes it's like in the Buddhist perspective, any kind of disturbing emotions occur, you all the time try to apply the antidote. And for example, if you say it's like in the Buddhist perspective, if you have very strong ignorant, then they say it's you study the Madhyamika. What does it mean, Madhyamika? Maybe you think of the cosmologies, like kind of quantum physics. Maybe it's astrologies, and you a little bit kind of to training your mind. It's can to clarify it. It's making clearly your mind. And related to that there is also to call the mature deities, recite Om Arapasanada, and can support to more relax, more kind of thinking this sort. For example, if you have like a very strong aversion, hatred, maybe it says like kind of to practice more compassion, patience. Not really patient. Patience, okay, you're patient, but not really you practice compassion. Or I cannot become anger. When you're angry, maybe I'm going to hurt to others. I'm going to beat others. I make unhappy to others. No, that is not good. If I'm hurting, I'm beating, or I'm like making uncomfortable to others, that is not my wish. And then more generate, more thinking to the others. And you kind of, your mind is related to the four immeasurables, like a kind of the equanimity, joy, and happy, like compassions. And like this, if you relate to them, then it's like your hatred is never grow up more and more diminish. They're more comfortable, lesser enemy, less like increase the friend, and atmosphere absolutely changed. For example, like I'm like this. For example, when I go to the groups inside, some one or two people is not happy each other, then it's whole universe is like kind of dark, uncomfortable. I'm like, if I'm like kind of make a peace, I'm very happy. I cannot make peace, I want to go out. I don't want to be involved like this kind of situations. It's just the truth. Myself, sometimes when I go to the group or my families, of course I'm very much stubborn and like this. It's anger's coming. First time shouting and after I said, what I did, wow, not good. I want to immediately to apologize and also immediately to make a peace. Forget it. And other one forget and then become the peace. Then it's so happy. And it's like this, it's like when we anger, to practice compassion, of course. And also it's like wonderful things. If I'm only the way of the selfish, I want to be winner, I want to the best, I want to like this, I want to be very challenged, I'm never ever comfortable. All the time it's a problem with the friends. And it's like kind of, I want to be the top of, even the conversations, how I can to challenge. Other one says something, and I say, yes, but blah, blah. And the other ones cannot reply to me. If I say ugly, I'm a little proud. But reality is not very good, these situations. If you use, from my perspective, I'm all the time losing. On the past, sometimes it's like I argue or something, I lost. Now I'm thinking, I'm very happy. And I'm not, of course, the braveheart, the coward. Wonderful. If someone's nothing beat or hit or something. When I was, I think, a childhood, one boy we are fighting a little bit, I beat once. I have regret. And I never beat it. If someone say you are a coward, I'll be very happy. If I'm like kind of, or I'm a kamba, and I killed a few people, how I become the like kind of become the proud? Nothing. And this like kind of the murdered and victims, like those family lost us. Maybe even you pain, big sickness, and something you like broken the leg or something. You know, how much their family sufferings. Until they die, they want to revenge, they want to think, and says, look at America, this black lady is some accidentally police who killed. And the mother says, like, now my sons died. She's a wonderful lady. She said, I have very strong wish. Never ever ladies, they lost their own child. They never, any kind of ladies never have my situations. It is the truth like this. Maybe it is like someone's through the anger to hurt some others. It's nothing. And therefore sometimes it's someone's, for me, it's in my life, someone's indirectly criticized, directly criticized, and also it's in my life, this kind of many scold, like kind of insult. Sometimes I'm angry, kind of if I'm angry, what can I do? But angry is coming. Sometimes I'd be very, very happy. And I'm like more whatever I do in positive, I'm dedicating to them. Someone's like criticize as much. It's, yes, I am like this. And then I will correct. Your criticism is fantastic. Patrul Rinpoche says, like, If you pray or you criticize, best is receive the criticize. Why? Criticizes, first time you shocked, but second times you look at your defects. Really, am I like this? Yes, you are like this. Then we can change. Then through these criticisms and you change, you become the authentic. And to praise someone, say, you are very good, you are fantastic, become more arrogant, you never see your defects. Maybe it's like it's like a kind of the lamas and the rich, powerful. They're like this. And some people says, you are good, you're fantastic, blah, blah, blah. They become more arrogant. They have a lot of defects, but they never see it. All the time they think, I am superior. They're not superiors, reality is inferiors. And therefore it is like when we have anger, to think compassion, kindness, you think others. Others, oh, I'm angry. Maybe I will give a harsh word. Maybe I revenge. Some is like to be challenged. That moment you practice compassion. No. I don't want. I want to give, forgiveness, we can say. I want to say sorry. It's like this. Okay. Then it's like, what do you need? Many is in our kind of Dhamma brothers, sisters, really very much changed. I appreciate very much. And when I first met some of you, quite is arrogant, aggressive. Okay, sorry. But now it's very much changed. And very much kind of the talkable, workable, and it's like life is wonderful, kind. Wow, how much I appreciate. But like this, and then I want to hear it is to say it's like when we have like this kind of disturbing emotions, we should to try to diminish, to try apply. Then your sickness is very, very, very beneficial, very much beneficial. And then it's like a kind of the desire attachment. It is like kind of the impermanent. It's very, very much. Desire attachment is like I want to collect this. I keep like this. Everything's want to close, tidy up. It's like need to keep to yourself. I like kind of says if you have like kind of 100 house, trillions money, still no, nothing. I want to keep them. For example, if you like kind of the thinking impermanent, and today I need it. Maybe these things I cannot use. My belongings. Tomorrow someone's coming to take away. This is really kind of happened. Many rich people, they life. They cannot to use, they cannot do nothing. They died, their all belongings, maybe government, maybe relative, someone's take like this. In London, you can see there is one museum, one rich guy, extremely rich, and he built it so big. Now it's a museum. He's 7 times married, and each one is difficult. And then finally, any kind of lady hated him. And then he cannot, and he hasn't got any family. And then his huge house, he's there. He's very aggressive, very much stinginess. And then nobody's don't want to be there. Even that's difficult to find servers. He has a lot of money. Even like some, you pay a lot, but difficult to be there. All the time shouting and like kind of saying this. And then finally he died there. I heard like kind of 1 or 2 months, nobody knows how he died. And then it's like some is smelling out coming, then police went and he already dead. And they think everything's to the government. And the government now make this museum, that's all. And what is the kind of the happy and maybe it's like a desire attachment, it's making more unhealthy, and like therefore we can to say impermanent. And when we are thinking impermanent, today it's like angry, I'm stinginess, I'm like kind of the lot of like selfish, and making manipulate, but it's not good. Maybe it's like tomorrow, maybe I'm not there. who knows? Today is like kind of monjo. Then it's this attachment we can kind of diminish. If this kind of disturbing emotions go down, decrease, and the inner mind space increase, then its element is become the balance, more become the healthy. And like this, therefore it's like this. As soon as the first painful trends of the illness and the struck, however young we may be in the body and mind, maybe first time is very much like grow up our body. Maybe you are like kind of very young. Maybe you are adult. Maybe you are quite really adult, old adult. Maybe you, anyway, but you are very healthy first timers. Maybe you are like kind of the billionaire, how do you say, it's like billionaire or like this shine out, handsome, beautiful, and it's really like kind of the energetic, and it's like kind of the you can jump, you can dance, you can run, you can to work very hard, and but certainly maybe you can to sick, painful something happened in your body, how you like kind of struck the illness, and then is the body and both mind are become the very strange, and according the pain, according the uncomfortables. However, it's like strong and radiantly healthy. However strong and radiant and healthy, once it's like kind of distracted the sickness, illness, it doesn't matter how much you are strong, how is you like kind of radiantly healthy, and immediately kind of become very strange. However much in your primary like kind of crump, like little bit hit by the stones, like kind of some birds is like very healthy, very strong birds, but someone's hit like by stone and fell down, and then it's like this just pain, just like kind of all the like strength and radiant healthy is immediately collapsed. Then it's like a kind of sitting there. Our strength is like evaporated. Of course, many like kind of young people, it's amazing, certainly sick. We can to obviously to look. Some very young, healthy, beautiful, and rich. This kind of person is certainly to God, and the sickness is awful. I'm often to telling. Once I went to London, and there's the first I was there is in the television. There's one young, beautiful lady, is in the fashion shows, very famous. But behind there's someone's gossip talking. She has some maybe cancer or something. And then I was there 2 months. First 1 month, they say you should to go to the hospital. They said, and she went. But in the first time hospital, she's a little bit something. But then like it's okay. But they checked. She was already permitted whole her body about the cancer, and she was very. And then they say you should go to hospital. And then she went, and next month. And they give chemotherapies, then her sickness is worse. Of course, sometimes chemotherapies help, sometimes make worse. And then it's like in the hospital, she lost hair, everything. And then still is a journalist, is not very compassionate, making picture, talking about that. Husband, and they have 2 kids, running around, ask to help. Daughters, how much you need to pay, I will give, because she's very famous, earn a lot of money. And then it's like the whole family is running kind of, maybe children's very young, but husband, impossible. Next month, the end of the month, she died. And like this, certainly to like a kind of attract the sickness, no choice. Like a bird received the stone, then it's lost, everything fell down. And like this, and our like the strength evaporated. We sink into the depth of our beddings, and like candle falling, and any movement, however slight, is difficult. And even to answer when is someone asks, what is your wrong? Is effort. You need to put effort. Someone say, how are you? How's it going on? It's very difficult. I'm okay. Like this kind of one is sickness, like a kind of a struck, then it's problem. And maybe now you think, I'm not sick. Why I need to think about? Don't they say, yeah. You know, to analyze that you can to grow, how do you say, develop compassion, and also you understand the sickness. You know, in the Buddha, he asked his attendants, Shana, and hey, Shana, it's like also royal family sick. He says, Lord, at least one day you sick before you die. It's truth, 100%. It doesn't matter you crash it, it doesn't matter you failed, it doesn't matter you through the process of the sick you die. Anyway, it's like we need to die through the painful, and like this, and very difficult to give difficult answers. Our voice seems to come from the deep inside to say, I'm okay. It's hard to get out from like this. This is true. When you are a sick person, it's like this. And if you are not sick, it's very, very difficult. And in the Dharma perspective, someone says, like some Buddhists have us, I want to become sick. Why? Then I can to experience how is the sick person has the experience situations. When I'm sick, when I'm hungry, when I'm thirsty, when I'm like kind of someone's attack enemies, someone's beat to me, and some Dhamma practitioners, good, I'm happy. I never revenge to them. I want to say them are like my root teacher and give me educations. Wonderful. Now I can to develop. I understood others. It's many, this is really truth. If you go to some healthy, someone's like not sick person, do you know that the suffering of the sick? I don't know. I don't know really. They said sick, maybe they sick, maybe not. I don't know. Can you analyze how much is the suffering someone sick? Why I need to think? No, someone sick, go to hospitals. Not very kind. And this is like a kind of this person to become sick. Then you can say, are you sick? Oh yes, I am sick. Now do you understand? Yeah, I understand. Or then someone says, go to the hospital. It's not very kind, you know. But someone's like, then it's to understand too late. You know, it is like many people to say, it's like when you haven't got any children, you're difficult to appreciate your parents. When you got the children, then understand how much your parents. Until you got yourself children, difficult to appreciate how it's like your parents taking care to you. Very difficult to understand kindness of your parents. Like same as this. If you're not sick, very difficult to understand others' sick situations. And like this. Then it's like we try lie on our right side, and then it's the one our left, one our back, or our the belly. This side, that side, that side, that side. Sometimes when you have very strong sickness, it's very difficult. It's whatever you put under your bed on the ground, it's a pain, uncomfortable. Then it's some sick person all the times needed to change. And like this kind of situation occur is that how much is suffering. That is we call the suffering of the sickness. But we can ever get comfortable, absolutely. We lost all appetite for food and drink and cannot sleep at night. Night is very much longer. Everybody, for example, if you sleep together, your families, family is healthy, maybe they're sleepy, make snoring like this, very comfortably, but you need to wake up, you need to look around and the ceiling, try to sleep it, but it's very difficult. Then it's that during the maybe night, it's so long. And if before 12 o'clock you can't sleepy, after you 12, 1, 2 o'clock you cannot sleepy, then even you cannot sleep. Sometimes this sick person can't get up, go to in the kitchen to drink tea, coffee, and it's like this. Of course, if you have very good families, maybe they get up, they support you, and maybe they make nice for you, massage, blah, 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 blah. It's kindly. But maybe if you haven't got families, what do you do? If you're alone, you need to manage yourself. And during the night, you cannot call your children, you cannot call everybody's like kind of close. First time I came to in Belgium, I was very much small house, conditions very bad. During the winter times, during the night sometimes, I haven't got properly to wearing the sleepy bag. And one there's, I haven't got mattress. And then it's like this mattress I took from the like kind of street. And one lady, she saw that, she bought me mattress. I thought I'm very rich. And during the night, my small house, like 50,000 euro, that is like money borrow me kindly, Matthew or someone else, others. And but it's like windows very ugly, roof is very ugly, no heat systems. And it's very difficult. And also it's like I tried to buy gas in a small one, put in the between my pillow. It's very dangerous. That time I thought gas is not really dangerous. Now I'm concerned is really I'm die. And then it's like during the night, it's in the front of my house, very small, there's few house. And this public bus is almost at the beginning, it's like this side between road and the house. And even the 12 o'clock bus is coming, small house shaking. And then it's difficult to sleep. Then I carry my sleep bag, go to in the park, in some nice chair, I'm sleeping there, it's more comfortable. And that time it's like, once I said, Matthew, I appreciate very much. I said, maybe can you keep a telephone near? And it's something, it's like certainly died. My feeling was very strange. Why I came to here, lonely and kind of like this. If I'm died, it's very, who knows? And this kind of situations you need to manage. If you're sick, then of course that time I'm no problem. And I have like no hunger because it's Belgium government kindly. I have like kind of chômage every month. That time is like I compare now 600-700 euro, and I need to pay back to the little bit house, and I go to the school and to food everything. It's fantastic. It's good, and I'm running around and like going. And the holidays time is to go to all the Brussels and to explore house like this. Nice, but even in these situations, if I'm sick, what can I do? And it's like this kind of, then it's day, even the night is very much kind of the long timers. Daytime, like seems endless. Many kind of the sick persons, night is very long. Night seems endless. And we have to put up with the battles. Battle means like very ugly medicines, not very delicious, hot or source medicines. The kind of the hot means like a very some medicines like chili, and some medicine is like very much kind of the bitter. And bitter, hot, and strong, this kind of bitter, hot. And then it's the bloodletting. In Tibet, also in Hindu, I did a few times. and kind of some sickness, you need to take out blood. It is not easily. And also like kind of contraries. Contrary means it's like acupuncture, making the fires, and all sort of other unpleasant treatment. But we are not happy. It's like unpleasant, but no choice. Even to look at the house, we can to look in the modern chemotherapies, surgeries. They are things not very good, but when we sick, what can we do? Unhappy, intolerant, but we need to deal, we need to accept. The thought that is the illness might certainly end in the death terrifies us. And maybe it's a real one is like according to this illness, maybe it's like kind of the make of the cause of the death. Of course, it's like as much as we seek, we don't want to die. We want to still like kind of to be alive. But of course, sometimes sickness is not impossible, the end of the life. And like this, how much is like the suffering of the sickness. And if you are analyzed, maybe you more understand and about the sickness situation, you can give more education, advice to others. Also, you understand someone sick, which kind of do they have situations. Maybe you can to develop your own compassion. If you develop your own compassion, your inner realization, liberation path is very much increased. Best meditation, best practice, best for your benefit, and also you think and through your compassion to think others, through your compassions, direct benefit, indirect benefit. There are such a kind of the benefit. Therefore, we are investigating. Under the power of the morbid influence, and morbid influence may be spread, a spiritual, like spread, or like kind of sometimes different illness. Some is like comes from earth, water, and there's the kind of the owners. And then it's like kind of our own lack of integrity. We may lose control of both body and the mind. And then it's like a kind of difficult to have integrity, and it's like no freedoms, and like kind of this inner someone is like we say this. Maybe there's no spirit, but some sickness enter into our body. Then it's very, very difficult to control the both body and mind, and on the top of our mental diluted and the perceptions, we start to hallucinated and diluted perceptions, normal diluted perceptions. And there is another, last time we studied one, another diluted perceptions, wrong perceptions. And we have many, many different like perceptions. And we perceive the like right perception and wrong perceptions right. This kind of start different hallucinations occur. That is the cause of the sickness. And sometimes in these situations, like kind of the sick, even take their own life, they make the suicide. Many, because it's like the sickness situations are so problems, they cannot like kind of bear, and sickness is very difficult to go away, and worse, you see that like more and more healthy, rich, and beauty, and these things, and then you have more sad, more kind of depresses coming, and then they cannot control. They make sometimes suicide like this. Because why they make suicide? Because so much sufferings of the sickness. And the people suffering from disease, and like kind of the such as leprosy and the epilepsy. Like leprosy is like kind of the very much ugly, and you have like this, you lose nose, sometimes mouth, finger, leg, ugly, then it's like it's very difficult to have medicine. But these days, maybe it's like kind of the AIDS, epilepsy is like more problems, like a brain, and like this are the like kind of abundant by the all and left to contemplate, they fight. And also it's like if you analyze this translation is a little, for me, is foggy, and maybe you can to some lots of us to check again, okay? And like abundant by all and left are the contemplate. They fate, and fate, they fate. I mean, it's like in the, to say it's like in Tibet, it's like in these situations, you got, maybe someone's got the leprosy, someone's got the epilepsy, and they're very difficult to manage the life. Someone's got like kind of the AIDS, or someone got like kind of the very pandemic sickness. And then it's like to be alive or to be die is almost completely same. Maybe sometimes they say it's better to die. It's long times, it's like kind of paralyzed, and like kind of the half is already dead, half is like this. Hope this kind of never happen. That is why we need to be continue to alive. Of course, we need to purify our negative deeds. Sometimes this kind of occur. They are like still alive. What that means, it's like kind of still there's very much to want to survive, and like this survive. They are the stay alive. They are stay alive. Stay alive. But it is the though they were already dead. Okay. And there is, I have, maybe we need to make mark, okay, lots of us. Like mi chuni pup, rongo ronkin tons. Me, there's one Tibetan. You are like kind of coming out from the human societies. Like, for example, if you have leprosy, epilepsy, and other kind of AIDS, then it's like almost kind of difficult to be in the middle of the families. Particularly leprosy is like nobody, same as these various, and you need to stay alone. Nobody cannot to be with you, and also that time is you see your own face. Maybe it's like a rongo ronkinton, and that means you see how it's like terrible things have happened in your face. For example, leprosy, your body is like kind of block, break, and like kind of the piece going, and you see like this, and then it's very much terrible. You want to be alive or you want to be die, and like kind of the feeling is to better to die. So, sick people are usually unable to look after themselves. Of course, it's like why it's very difficult to look after. Even the families, nurses, whatever they do for the families, the sick person, all the time is angry, because the illness make them short temperatures, hot temperature or short temperatures. Because it's like a kind of yesterday someone's questions. Someone has like the small slat, some ladies has periods, it's become the short temperatures. And if you really very strong sickness, then it's a very sensitive, very fragile, and then it's like it's a very difficult to help, because it's like whatever you do for the sick person's not happy, And I want to say is like if you give water or tea, maybe this person is like kind of angry and wrong perceptions, or you didn't wash my cup, or you made a very ugly tea, not very good. If you do your best, but all the time they complain. And these persons maybe not necessarily be like this, but according the condition of the sick, then they become the short temperatures. And they always find fault with that other do for them. It is very much true. Others do it to you is all the times unhappy, because you see to them it's like they doing the opposite. But of course it's not, because according to your kind of the sickness. I mean, say it's like some ladies like you have periods, then you're nervous, aggressive. Say. But maybe other your near family, others, they're doing nothing but your temperature, like something. I make the joke, I have like this, I haven't got periods, but I have diabetic. Sometimes diabetic is high and low was very, very strange. Even someone's asking me very gently a question, I'm says, what do you? And if someone's talk, what do you need? It's automatically, it's a kind of, and afterwards I have laughing inside myself. And this diabetic making balance my bodies. Then I understand the ladies' situations. And like this. And then they become the more and more fuzzy, and the like kind of the corticals. It's they become like kind of the fuzzy. It's like how do you say it? Very strange characteristics and behaviors, and very much critical persons. It is like become, because the coding is like a sickness, and even they are sickness drag on and on, like kind of this sickness like continue. It can to be long timers. Then people get tired of the looking after them. Of course, like a kind of the nurses. Maybe in some good countries, nurses like kind of their job. Some in the like kind of bad countries, or maybe some is like families need to look after, and someone's to look after. Maybe they're not job voluntarily. Then it's a very, very difficult to look after them and the sick persons. Of course, you earn the money from the sick persons. That is your job. You don't need to fed up, and you continue it. And last time someone says like coding the coronavirus, it's a little bit very strange information. Okay, and they said it's like now many old people are dying because this coronavirus is attacked to the most is old, and some is unhealthy people. So then they die, and then it's like someone says like, and maybe it's they are quite a problem and need to look after, and then there is like a die also. It's okay. Maybe it's like a little bit. For example, sometimes in Italy they choose. Maybe we can save young, old. Maybe the better die. But the other one it says like, no, they cannot die, because in the hospice or in the old people's like house, old people's there is, if they all of them died, then it's where we can to get jobs. And they are constantly, they want to keep because they need job. It's very funny, and it's this perspective is not very good. But anyway, someone's voluntarily is kindly to look after them. It's of course a long time is to look after them. It's quite very difficult, and no longer to that they ask it, and like this. Then it's like a discomfort usually caused by their disease, torment them, and continually like this kind of situation. That is the very like kind of the suffering of the sickness. Now you understand that is the fourth stream of the sufferings, and the third stream of the sufferings. Now I'm going to more the how to say, it's like I'm too late for question. What time? 12:30. Almost, okay. Let's continue. Yeah. And now it's the suffering of the death. That is the worst ending of our life. We are losing this wonderful word. And that time it's like, death process start. We cannot to say the ringing in my heart. And the wonderful word is losing storm in my heart after sufferings. As the death approaches, you collapse into your bed and no longer have the strength to get up. Absolutely, and lying on we call the last your bed. And there, then it's maybe it's a kind of through which kind of the cause of the death. And then it's even when you see the food and drink, impossible, there's appetite lost. You feel no desire for it. Then it's tormented by the sensation of the dying. Absolutely, this feeling, they think, now I'm going to die. I heard it's sometimes even some practitioners, and one is a Tibetan person is died. He's a very good practitioner, and he received a lot of PT instruction and good, but he is not much practice he received, and he's very young, and suddenly he got cancer, liver cancer. And then it's beginning, he thought maybe getting better. Went to hospital, take medicine, chemotherapies, and then it's sometimes it's very much pain. Painkillers, 1 month, 2 months, after their daughter said, we have something news story we need to tell. Do you have your own something solution, your own cultures like Tibetans? Then we cannot do nothing more. Your life is 1 month or 2 months. And these persons certainly cannot talk. It's kind of astonished. And just the tears coming, am I going to die? And then someone said, don't say like this. You receive many things. Now it's meditating. Then he start, it's too late because I received many teachings, but I didn't practice. Of course, it's helped me, but now it's certainly to try. It's, the sickness attack and thinking about death. Then it's meditating, kind of fighting in my mind. And then it's very difficult. And then it's atmosphere is changed according to panic. And then it's slowly, finally he's okay. And he accepted. During the 1 month, 2 months, after 1 month or 2 months, he died. And this, something. And another, there's one practitioner's his story, I'm telling you. Same these situations. He works a long time, and certainly he received this 6 kind of. And then the daughter said, it's you are going to die. He said, really? Are you sure? And then they say, oh yes, I have my own cultures, I want it. And then he's kind of telling to the family, this is like this, and give everything. I'm going to something is like India. How you can to India? They give kind of medicine. I'm going to my own culture way. Please, can I fly? And during the flying, there's some injections to make the painkillers. One is his pain, and this cancer is so terrified. And he give everything. So it doesn't matter, die. I want to die some India. And then there's a flight. They said it's Belgium government very kind, and they prepared all the nurse, everything. They helped to him enter the Delhi. And then he arrived in Delhi, and he went out and disappeared. And he went to Dharamsala. He don't talk about, but his pain, and he eat painkiller. And it's okay, tomorrow die. his visit Holiness and to go to round pilgrimage and India's. He didn't die 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. Now he's very much healthy. And they said, now I think I want to come back, maybe to see family, to see the doctors, to say thank you. So, sometimes it's like when you are like something practice, it's accept the death and this sickness. Even the sickness disappeared. Sorry to say. This kind of happened one lady in Switzerland. Like the but is now I'm going to die. Death process then become worse and worse. We have Indians in Tibet. There's one guy is sick, and then they give some medicines in the local medicines. Probably you have big cancer or something. Then they brought to in the big city during the carrying. I cannot move. They asked to him to eat. He said, no, I can't eat. And then in the Tunisia capital arrived, and they brought to check everything. Finally, and the checkup, the result, they said, you haven't got nothing, sickness, what problems? And he said, maybe it's truth. Let's go to nice restaurants. Like this kind of the very much depends the mind. But anyway, it is like a kind of the death process status. Then it's like very much sufferings, tormented by the sensations of the dying. You feel more and more depressed. All your courage and the confidence evaporated because it's like you losing in this life. Your experience like kind of foreboding and hallucination of what waiting for you. And this experience for the boarding means is like kind of this wonderful experience is disappeared. And I think it's normal, 12:30 now, yes? We need to stop. Do you have question? No. How many do you have? Huh? Many? Huh? Can't. Tent. Why we late? No, we started 11:30 same. Hmm? Okay, hi. Maybe someone has some program to follow up. Okay, la. And very sorry, it's some on the internet is nya. Sometimes myself is nya. And there are many nyanyas. And the question answer maybe we can do tomorrow, okay? And we can do like this. And because it's like someone's really going to follow up the schedule. And in this case, maybe someone's need to go outside. It's like they have arrangement. Normally in the local, according to the local time, is the 12:30. We need to stop. And that is like my fault. Okay, sorry, thank you very much. And bon appetit. Senchene pa cherne pa nyerdanele tajerchi drobane na male pa tadanjon a me persho malanta dans demba ton son dijon de paton Kandro sambo la so pa ni ji san dong danger ji Song dong lao so ma xiang la je pen zi la ye zha xi ni ji te Dele samba ye yan zhe pa tong Tseri ne me de xie dan bar xiu Xiong che san qiu ren bo che Ma xi pa na xie je ji Xi pa nyam ba me pa tong Kong ni kong de pe ra xiu La su Kong ri ra ri ko ri xin kam si pen dong de wa ma le jong Xian ren zi yong dan zhen jian zuo ye xia bei sen ti par de danger ji